The beating of the TARDIS engines slowed to a crawl, the lights dimming with the thud of the landing. A blue stream of energy rippled from the console across the floor before pulsating around the door. The Doctor sighed. A sharp ringing came from the scanner, shaking the screen until it switched itself off. The door creaked inwards.
I know, old gal.
He patted the console gently.
I'm going to have to go out those doors whether I'm going to be fine or not.
With a flick of a switch, the door burst open. Dark tendrils shriveled away from the door, allowing the Doctor to step out. A mass of shadows surrounded him, convulsing as his gaze scanned them. Silhouettes of people emerged from the mass. Bodies of all shapes and sizes shrank away from the Doctor, back towards the safety of the colony buildings, despite chunks of them being exposed for the Doctor to see.
Oh, so has the whole base come to see me?
The massive shadows began to hiss.
I'm so honored.
The Doctor shut the doors of the TARDIS before taking another step forward, hearing the crunch of the artificial grass beneath his shoes.
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
The shadow people whispered back as one. They fell into the mass before converging in front of the Doctor. It rose up higher than the ruins. Streaks on its form pulsated, each beat solidifying its shape into a faceless behemoth cut from the world.
You are not from this world.
It spoke with the voice of several people.
Your mind is different.
Ah, having a bit of trouble with my telepathic signature. Great. It lets us talk.
What are you doing here?
I could ask you the same question, my dear chap.
The being slammed its fists down on the ground, more of the shadow mass recoiling from its fists.
This place is mine.
I wasn't aware it was for sale.
The being lowered itself to the Doctor's level.
I own this colony. By my will, it was improved.
Improved?
Scoffed the Doctor.
Look at this place. The structure's pretty but unstable. Your shadows have ruined everything that they have touched. And what people are here? Well, people of here have been left soulless and corrupted by your will.
The being chuckled.
Everything here is flawless. It is so because it is mine, Doctor. As are you now. Ugh.
The Doctor clutched his head in pain. He struggled to keep on his feet, dropping to his knees as the being rose back up. Masses fell from its body. 13 solid shadows quivered together, becoming outlines of his earlier incarnations, one soaked in his memory from his earliest travels. From the grumpy grandfather to the timeless wanderer, the forms loomed over him, mercifully without his incarnation who fought in the Time War. The Doctor battled the pain in his head, He forced himself to stand, which scattered a 14th form into particles before it could settle. One, bearing a short cape, lunged at the Doctor with a karate chop. Grinning through the pain, the Doctor grabbed the figure's arm before tossing them into a distinctly skinny figure.
Do not act against my will,
Threatened the being.
Your will. Your will means nothing. You're a parasite feeding off what others have created.
The being's fist bore into the ground, jumped out of the way, straight into a false version of his very Scottish self with the distinct eyebrows. His other self scattered from the being, who swept its hand across the ground. The Doctor grabbed hold of it. He pulled himself up before running along the being's arm.
Nothing here is yours.
The Doctor stopped at its shoulder.
And I certainly don't belong to anyone.
I have claimed you and this place as mine. Therefore, it has always been mine.
Back on the ground, the Shadow Doctors began to climb up the being towards the True Doctor, who beamed back down at them.
Self-loathing takes on a whole new meaning.
He winced.
Not for long, though.
The being swatted at the Doctor, who felt the air around his neck as he slid down its back. He hit the ground running, putting a decent distance between the being and himself. The shadows splayed across the colony grounds, giving the Doctor a wide berth. The Doctor outstretched his arms.
You're scared of me.
The being inverted itself so it faced the Doctor, twisting its form in on itself.
I fear nothing that is mine.
It's a good thing that I'm not yours.
Its shadow selves crawled over the being's head and shoulders. They stopped at the summit before seeping back into the being's form.
That probe of yours was painful, but handy.
The Doctor's voice grew cold.
It was two ways. You got a basic image, but I got a means of expressing myself.
Slowly, a beautiful blue light grew from the chest of the being. It struggled to keep itself upright.
What did you do?
I'm in your heart now. I'm afraid a mental imprint like mine isn't a healthy one. Especially if your own thoughts contradict mine.
More beams of light tore through the being, sending it to its knees. A mouth ripped its way open on its head as it screamed. Shadows around it shriveled up. It fell to its stomach, body dissolving while the blue light subsided.
You tricked me.
Don't give me that. You chose to do nothing but take. I can't be blamed if it turned into more than you can handle.
I wish to live. The being's voice dropped to a whisper. I wish to live.
You don't live by claiming everything as yours. That's just how you take lives.
The being tried to push itself back up, but faltered, crashing back into the ground. It let out a terrified shriek. The Doctor patted its head.
It didn't have to be this way, you know.
What remained of the being raised its head.
You could have helped. You could have been helped. Cooperation could have saved you.
As he spoke, the being crumbled into dust, which in turn rippled out across the shadows, across the ground.
They could have decided if you were worth saving.